Today's episode of Quantum Revolution touches on a topic that can be challenging for many of my listeners, especially for those of you in service-based professions. I've coached business owners and entrepreneurs for almost 20 years. I started my Business by Design coaching program in 2005. In the personal growth and self-help industry, money is a supercharged concept riddled with conundrums and even conflicting desires. As people who are inspired to heal and care for others for a living, we often feel shame, embarrassment, or at least discomfort with charging money. We don't talk about money. We have to pretend like we don't want or like money, that somehow money is inherently bad or shameful to have or want. In the research that I've done with my students, 68% of my students want to build successful businesses and work full-time doing good work in the world, such as being coaches or healers. But less than 10% of these same students don't want to learn about marketing, selling, running a business, or managing money. Many of my students are more comfortable bartering or undervaluing their services than they are with receiving enough money to sustain themselves so they can stay in business doing good work in the world. There is something deep in our programming that disallows us to embrace and use money with joy. Until we rewrite this program, we run the risk of getting trapped in limiting cycles of lack, and without realizing it, according to my guest today, we may actually be repelling money. In today's Quantum Revolution episode, we're talking to Ken Honda, the Japanese Zen millionaire and author of the book Happy Money. Ken asserts that it is possible for anyone, no matter their current financial status, to live with more ease in their relationship to money. But to do this, we have to first learn how to let money bring us joy, and most importantly, to learn how to genuinely receive and allow money into our lives.
You're listening to Quantum Revolution with Karen Curry Parker, exploring new frontiers in consciousness, science, and evolution. Join us in intimate conversations with cutting-edge scientists, spiritual leaders, artists, disruptors, and visionaries who are working towards reframing the narrative of our future by healing the rift between spirituality and science, reclaiming creativity, and laying the foundation for a new world. And now, here's your host, Karen Curry Parker.
Welcome to Quantum Revolution. I am Karen Curry Parker, and we are here today with Ken Honda talking about his book, Happy Money, which I have to say, Ken, when I saw the title, I thought, well, that's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it?
Yes.
So I want to know, I have some really big questions that I want to pursue. And the big question that I want to pursue before we even start talking about happy money is a very supercharged idea. Mm-hmm. And it is an idea that I think a lot of people think is a source of problem in the world. Why do you think, or why don't you think money is potentially such a big problem on the planet?
Yeah, before I begin, Karen, I just want to thank you for inviting me. This means a lot to me to be able to share what I know about money. So money pulls the best and the worst emotions from you. For example, you feel so happy when you got some kind of money or bonus or raise. And you were so upset when you found out that you lost some money, or your partner or somebody, your kids, wasted money. You get so mad, and so we get emotionally disturbed over money. So that's why I think money is such an emotionally charged energy in our life. And then a lot of crimes happen because of money. And also, we fight over money when our parents die, like who takes what. I took care of mom, for the last 6 months. You didn't. And so here you are. I think I should deserve, I deserve something more. So like we are just feeling so much guilt, shame, frustration around money when we pay bills, when we get new money coming in. we just sigh. We feel so small, squeezed our money. That's how we, that's how we live.
So I that doesn't sound happy to me. So,
Well, true.
so so what is happy money?
So happy money on the to the contrary to unhappy money makes you smile when you receive it. Like I always talk about, your grandparents send you a happy birthday card. In it is it's $10 in it in the envelope, and your grandma says, "Buy whatever you want for your birthday." And you smile like, "Grandma, you can't buy so many things with only $10." And then it's not just the money, but it's the thought and the love and the generosity from your parents just touch your heart. That is happy money. And when you pay bills, you're so happy at the cashier or a restaurant or server. Wow, that was a good food. That was the best service. Right? You're good. You knew so much about the wine, and your selection was beautiful. And then you pay joyfully. That is happy money. So if you just receive money with gratitude and pay money with gratitude, that is happy money. So if you can do that, you're a happy person. But unfortunately, most of us feel squeezed, complain about money we're receiving, we are paying. So when we complain about money, that becomes unhappy money. So we have to really watch out our language and watch our attitude and relationship with money.
So when you talk about moving, I mean, we have this collective narrative, and I think it's a pretty serious narrative. I think if you open up the news, if you look at a newspaper, you listen to podcasts or radio, nobody's talking about money is so amazing, it's so great, we love it, we can use it, it makes us happy. People are looking at, and you talk about this, they're looking at the world and finances oftentimes through a deep lens of scarcity, right? There, and I'll say here, I don't know how it is where you are in Japan, but I will say here, there's a lot of people who are literally preparing for a massive financial collapse. Even, I hang around with a lot of entrepreneurs who are always saying, "What do you do when the market collapses? What do you do? How do you prepare for, a shift and change and a crisis in the financial institutions?" That doesn't feel happy to me. How do we go? First of all, how did that idea, that darkness around money, that unhappiness around money, what's the source of that? And how do we begin, maybe personally and collectively, beginning to rewrite that story so that we're talking about happy money?
Thank you, Karen. You were just asking deep questions. I don't know if I can answer in just 5 minutes, but
You
I'll.
have all the time you need.
So, the reason why we just associate with money with dark energy is that money touches our survival. Like 500 years ago, when everybody was a farmer, we grew our own food, and then we're happy. But after the industrial revolution, a lot of people move into the city, and in the city you have to pay for the rent or the house or the apartment. You have to pay for the food, pay for the water, pay for the electricity and all that. So in our mind, no money, no life. We'll be thrown out on the street, and then we die. So like when we have less money, when we feel like we run out of money in the future, like it's a survival mechanism. And the other thing is greed. Even though some people have enough money, say like $2 million or $5 million, they don't have to make more money anymore. But the greed inside, that they want to multiply their money. If they have $10 million, they want $15 million. If they have $100 million, they want $200 million. So this greed will just expand their business and destroy all the environments. But as a humankind, we've been driven by this greed. That's why we invade other countries. That's why we try to overdo business, even though we don't need that much money. So this greed and survival mechanism are just disturbing people. So for a financially challenging situation, I think people are worried about money because of survival reasons. And people who have more than enough, they can be happy. But if they're not happy, they're just driven by greed to want
Mhm.
more. make more.
You talk about in your book that there's sort of a set point, like a setting on a happiness thermostat with money, if you will. And you said in American dollars, that set point is about $75,000. Tell me a little bit about that.
You know, people ask me, people try to challenge me. Can, can you buy happiness? I'd say you cannot buy happiness, but you can ease your discomfort level in your life. If you have a little money, you can have a roof over your head. And if you have little money, you can pay for the hot running water. In North America, it's pretty standard, but in other countries, it's not. Running water could be just a personal thing, right? And if you have some space and heat, electricity, and enough food on the table, you're fine. But if you want to have a comfortable life or like a safe neighborhood and a nice food, it doesn't have to be organic, but like nice, natural, healthy food, you probably need a certain income to sustain your family. If your kids want to learn something, they probably need iPhones or not necessarily the newest model, but they need iPads and computers and higher education. Everything costs money. So I think in big cities, you need at least $70,000. And if you're living in a countryside, maybe if you have $40,000, it may not be so expensive, but you need some money to stay comfortable, at least to avoid discomfort. And if you want to have some luxury, like say, these days a lot of my American friends are visiting Japan and Kyoto, and they say like, "Ken, I never thought the trip was like life changing." So if you want to have a little bit of luxury, going overseas, you need extra more money. So it depends on how much you want out of life. The minimum will be, just increasing.
So at the age of 20-ish, you decided I'm going to be wealthy by the time I get married and have a child so that I can stay home and be with my child.
Yes.
What did you do in that decade that got you to that place where you were like, I have enough, I am enough, I've got what I need? How did you create that process?
So I started my business when I was 21, and then I became a consultant. I was very good at marketing, which I applied marketing skills to my book promotion. 10 years later, I sold almost 9 million copies of my books because I was very good at word of mouth marketing. So with that skills in my hands, I helped many companies grow. So I got paid according to the growth of their sales. So it was more about like a business owner type of income. And also I became an investor early on. So I'm doing consultant business based on incentives and also being a great investor. I was at the right time. And then I could retire at the age 29, which made me, gave me enough time to think about life. So it took me 3 years to figure out what I wanted. So about 3 years into semi-retirement, I got this crazy inspiration to write books. Like I was just laughing at myself. What is this crazy idea? I was just a boring accountant, and I have no skills. I have never written anything longer than like 20 pages in my life. Just besides school essays and stuff. But I just couldn't resist on this inspiration to write. So I started writing 2-3 pages essay on happiness and money. And then that got extended to 10 pages, 20 pages. And I ended up writing 26 pages of a small booklet. And then I printed them. And by word of mouth, it got spread out so fast. And I kept on giving away my booklets. And by the time I gave away 100,000 copies, a publisher called me. And then the rest is history. And it was 22 years ago. I published more than 200 books and sold almost 9 million copies.
You sound like in this journey, like you must have had at the beginning money IQ, because you talk about in your book money IQ and money EQ. Talk to us a little bit about what is money IQ and EQ and how do you get some?
Yeah, money IQ is money intelligence, financial intelligence that Robert Kiyosaki and others like Sue Zolman are telling. But what they're telling is totally different. Like financial IQ for wealthy, financial IQ for ordinary, financial IQ for financially challenging situation people. So money IQ is very different, but you need to develop that. My father was a successful tax accountant, so he started teaching me about money since I was 5 or 6. That's why I could become financially independent in my 20s. And money EQ, on the other hand, is it's money emotional intelligence. And money emotional intelligence is something that how healthy you are emotionally with your money. I realized in my early 20s, most successful, financially savvy, high money IQ people lost everything because of the burst of the bubble economy, which could happen anytime in North America. So you will probably witness, as I witnessed in my 20s, a lot of smart people ended up losing everything because of emotional mistakes. So even though you have high IQ, if your money EQ is low, you could end up losing all. So you have to have a higher money emotional intelligence as well. Actually, emotional intelligence is a base. So if you have a strong foundation of emotional intelligence, and with a financial IQ, you can build a financial fortress. But if you have only financial IQ, it's pretty risky because you try to make more money, leverage, and then you leverage too much, and that as a result, you end up losing everything.
If you do not have money EQ, how do you start growing it? How do you start learning those resilient skills to be able to become more emotionally brilliant around money? And I want to preface this, I want to share something with you because I think this is part of why I wanted to have you on the show is I teach a process of integrated healing called quantum alignment system. And every year we offer, it's a 9-hour long process. We do it over 9 weeks. And every year we do a sliding scale event around a specific topic using this system. And about maybe 6 years ago, we said, why don't we do a series of quantum alignment system treatments for people around money? And we'll specifically target the theme of money. And because what we saw was really astonishing because we started working with people, and what we found when we worked with people who were struggling with money is that there was a direct correlation between struggling with money and deep trauma that didn't have anything to do with money necessarily. It was trauma in the family, traumatic events. And that relationship, we decided at that point, we got so overwhelmed with working with people because we ended up having about 800 people on the calls. And we
Wow.
said, we can't, it's just too much trauma and to ever do this again. But it really stuck with me. And I think it's really notable that there's a correlation between trauma and I would say, and emotional intelligence. And then of course, money intelligence. So how do you start the process of healing that and maybe learning in money, money intelligence, not money intelligence, money emotional intelligence.
Yeah. So thank you. So, but by the way, your work is amazing, and I've listened to a few episodes, and also you're a great interviewer too. So I really appreciate you,
Thank you.
Karen,
Thank you.
for your intelligence and a generous heart. That's why I think people are attracted to you.
Thank you.
First step. The first step is to realize what kind of emotions you have around money. So there will be like 4 or 5 major ones. There could be guilt. A lot of people feel guilt around money when they receive money. A lot of people feel shame. I don't have much. I have just very little. Or even though the money comes in, it disappears so fast, without me knowing. So and also frustration when you try to hold on to the money, but somehow money slips away. So, and also there's anger, like, why do I get little, where others are making millions? And so this sense of unfairness and anger, resentment, just realize what kind of emotions you put out onto money. And, from money's perspective, I think money is crying. Like, oh, I didn't do it. It's you who gets upset, but nothing to do with me. So just release money as a innocent being, because just put all the bad thing to the money, but money didn't do anything. It's how we felt around money. So first of all these negative feelings are in you, because some people feel so joyful, so peaceful around money at the same time. So it's what you see. If you what you see is full of negative things, it's because it's on your glasses. Not-
Mhm.
so you have to start wiping out your glasses, and also figure out what happened to you, because you have this negative beliefs around money. What happened to you many years ago when you're children, when you're a small child? What did your parents do, or what didn't they do? Just for me, for example, I didn't get a mountain bike when I was 70 years old, and then I was so upset with Santa because I thought he got mixed up with the order. I wanted to have a certain mountain bike, but the one I got is for kids bike. I was so insulted, and then I realized that the Santa Claus. There are two things: Santa Claus doesn't deliver birthday gifts, and the other one is he didn't mix up. So and I was upset. So, but later on, that kind of trauma leads out and surfaces when we want to start a business, for example. Okay, I'm going to go on my business. And then inside us, our this belief around ourselves, you cannot do it. You didn't get a mountain bike. You didn't get what you wanted. So even if you start out a new venture, you're going to fail. And just remember 7 years old, and then okay, I'm afraid I should not do it now. So unless you clear out the money trauma, you cannot be freely giving and sharing.
I agree. I definitely agree. And I think sometimes getting underneath those trauma stories and looking, particularly in business, at how those show up, that's an important part of making sure you're showing up all the way for the business and the service that you give through the business. I find that there's an interesting incongruency. I coach a lot of people in service-based businesses, and I think, again, I'm not sure how this is culturally in other cultures, but I know that in America, there's almost, I don't want to say shame, but it's like service-based businesses traditionally are not valued in our culture. So if you look at, say, teaching or nursing, some of these professions that are traditionally associated oftentimes with women, they're also, I think, undervalued in our culture. And when I coach service-based professionals, even coaches, trainers, consultants, they'll often say things like, well, I want money, and I want to have a good business. Um, and it's important that I focus on the service and do the things that I want to do to serve, but I don't want to look at money, and I don't want to charge people money, and I don't want to show people what I have. I don't want to talk about the price. What would you say to people with that mindset?
If you just have some guilt around money, it's okay. But you can find another life, by releasing guilt. You have no guilt around money. You receive what is offered. I teach money EQ. The first principle is receive. You know, um, uh, you can receive what life offers to you, and a lot of people say no to the gift that's offered to you. So you have a choice of receiving the gift or just rejecting the gift. In this case, money. So just imagine what extra money you receive can do. Like, say, you can learn new things. You can take new courses, which cost money usually. So by receiving the money that is offered to you, or by charging people more, instead of just feeling that you charge people, you receive more. So you can say, my session will be $100 or more, or like whatever you want to offer is fine. So if you're totally vulnerable and surrender and receive well, uh, you and do it out of guilt and sacrifice, you end up receiving a lot more. So by receiving more, you can give more. So that's how I feel. I don't need to get compensated for money. So 85% of what I do it pro bono. I don't get paid. But because I have a system set up, I get paid very well. So if you have a system set up and receive money as well as you can give, the money circulates. Happy money circulates well. So at the beginning level, just imagine what an extra money you're going to receive can do for you and other people. So don't think as selfish act. Just receive the money, not only for you, but the sake of other people that you're going to help. You can help people better after taking new courses and after just satisfying your life.
I want to take what you just said and feed it into a microphone and or a megaphone and broadcast it out to all of my students. That's perfect. So thank you for that. So one of the other things that I see come up with my students a lot when we go into business, it's almost like when we go into business, it's like a whole different personality. And there's this fear, I think, that we have about sharing our offerings, sharing business, and being authentic. And a belief, I think, that sort of says, I'd love to be who I am in the world. I'd love to be honest about what I do and talk about what I do, but that won't sell in our world. So I have to compromise on who I am and what I do. What would you say to the young entrepreneur who's saying, well, nobody really wants what I have, so I have to change my message. I have to not be authentic in the marketplace.
Yeah, so that's what I struggled 4 years ago when I started writing in English. I have to change myself so people would understand me. My teaching is very Japanese, is at least what I thought. And then I have to change myself in order to be accepted internationally. And the fear is that unless I change myself in a way that people understand, nobody's going to pick up my book. And then I realized, wait a minute, maybe people only resonate with me whoever thinks like me. So instead of just I change myself in a way that people love me. I just, stay as I am, and then see how many people will resonate. And so I sold about 300,000 copies of the book. And with all my Japanese books, I sold almost 9 million copies, which means 9 million people, resonated with me. My podcast hit 52 million downloads, as of the end of last year. So like almost half the population of Japan resonated with me. It's just, I didn't try to change who I am and how I look. It's just I stay true to myself. So I use this analogy, like you put up a smoke signal, like fireworks, and then whoever sees that smoke signal will come to you. So just to put up a signal, smoke, so your tribe will find you from far away. That's how I feel. Karen, you found me middle of nowhere, right? From middle of nowhere.
Well, you're kind of popular, just saying.
How you found me, but I'm here in Japan. I didn't just knock on your door. Karen, can you just invite me to my podcast, right? I don't know how popular I am, but just you found me. That's how I feel. And you saw a smoke signal in a form of YouTube videos with other people's interview. I have no idea, but I'm physically here in Japan and just alone. I mean, right now, as this time, it's 8:30 in the morning, so I'm alone in my office. So, but my smoke signal shut up about 4 years ago, and people started seeing me. So you just put up your own smoke signal in your unique way. Your tribe can recognize that, and they will just find you.
I love that because I think, of course, I feel like I'm a mom teacher with my students. I feel like I'm their mom, right? And I just see them and I'm so excited and I see them step into their power and I see them step into their authenticity. And I'm like, don't hide that anymore. Get it out there. The world needs it. So So I have two more questions for you, and then I want to talk a little bit about your new book coming up. And I want to share with people some of the resources that you have on your webpage because you've got some great resources for people. So talk to me about savings and why should people save or why should people not save, or tell me what you think about and believe about saving.
A lot of people ask me about saving. From what perspective is my question? There are many different money personality types. There are money makers, there are spenders, there are savers, there are warriors, there are gamblers, and anybody is okay. But people who love saving, they should start spending because life is about fun. And if you're a spender, if you think you're a spender, who love enjoy partying and just who have a missing fear of missing out, you should start saving. So for those of you, I think there are more spenders in North America. So for those of you who think, oh, I'm a spender, I waste a lot of money. I have a mantra for you. So when you go to a shopping mall or like look at Amazon, and then if you want to buy something, just check this mantra before you click the button or just flash out your credit card. If I don't buy this now, am I going to die tomorrow? I want to buy this now. I'm going to die tomorrow. 99% of the time, you're not going to die tomorrow. Even if you don't buy the newest iPhone, the new clothes, the shoes and bags and accessories and whatever that is, until you have enough savings stored up so you don't have to worry about money. Don't waste your money. There are only two problems with money. You're making too little or spending too much. For a lot of people who worry about money, they spend too much. So save up enough money so at least you don't have to worry about paying the bills. And unfortunately, a lot of North American people are one or two checks away from bankruptcy. That means you don't have enough saved up. So just you can spend as much money you want if you have more money, but save up enough, like 1 month's expense, ideally 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and you can achieve financial independence sometime in your life. But save up enough. And if you're a saver and just you have more than enough, you should start spending money for fun. So for different people, different prescription.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say for someone who is maybe in between and they're trying to find that balance? And maybe, I don't know, how do you start spending money for fun if you're so entrained to be worried or feel guilty or shamed about money? How do you do that?
That's what I teach about money EQ. For high achievers, I give funny homework. The other day, an entrepreneur who is making a lot of money, he says, I have so much guilt around spending money. Can you heal the pain? Okay, I'll give you a practical homework. Withdraw $1,000, and then waste your money on something that's not going to come back to you. Like if you take courses, if you just buy some clothes, that's shopping. So waste your money. And then I released him. After about a month, he came back and he said he could do with only $100. He couldn't do $900. It's a crime for him to waste money. But for spender people, piece of cake. They can spend money in a matter of minutes. So it's interesting how people just deal with guilt and shame. So it takes time because you built up spending 36 years or 46 years of your life. You cannot heal in 2 minutes. So it takes time to see what's on the plate, and then you have to just start figuring out, what does this guilt come from? What is this shame? What is this anger? What is this resentment? And then every little thing has attached to your past. And I think they should take Karen's courses on healing the traumas, because healing the traumas have really the keys to erase emotional ties with money, and then it frees you.
Yeah, I agree. And I would say I just learned something about myself because I thought I was a spender, and then when you told me to waste $1,000, I was like, "Nope, no way." So maybe I'm not a spender. It's
I
like
think you are a strict saver, so you're strict on
I
you.
think no one would say that about me because I have a lot of kids. But, but I think that it's interesting, and I encourage everybody listening to tune in, as you said, Ken, when you're encountering money or you're out in the world feeling money. I mean, I say feeling it because really pay attention to how it doesn't make you feel. How does it make you feel when so my parents are in their 80s and they're so dear. Like I come to visit them and when I leave, they're still like pressing money into my hand, like use this for gas, right? That feeling of having my elderly parents give me money, I feel that in my gut, right? It has a very big emotional charge still. And I really want to encourage everyone to pay attention to where those charges are because those emotional charges are oftentimes part of your money story, right? And of course, as you just pointed out, that money story is part of it's your money EQ and it's influencing where is your baseline set for what you're willing to, as you point out so beautifully, what are you willing to allow yourself to receive? Where are you open to being gracious in that receptivity or are you not? Because I do find that oftentimes it's the receptivity that's the biggest issue, not the making the money, but allowing yourself to receive it without shame and guilt. So I want to just point everybody, Ken, to your website. Of course, your website is kenhonda.com, and we'll post below the links to all of Ken's resources. But you have a community, the Arigato Living Community. And on your website, which I downloaded this today, you've got a beautiful, it's like a 55-page, 8-step guide to happiness and prosperity, which is just phenomenal. I really, really, I enjoyed going through that so much today. So make sure you all go grab a copy of that. That's going to give you some amazing exercises and contemplations, really beautiful contemplations. Of course, your book as well, Happy Money, also has really great contemplations. So my husband is I joke, he's a very normal person and I love him because I really need to have a normal person in my life. And he's always thumbing through the books for my podcast guests. And I had this out in the kitchen and he started reading it. He said, "This is a really good book. It's really different." So I'm just telling you, if my husband sees this and reads this book, Happy Money, and he thinks it's great, he's like, "When you're done, you got to give it back to me. I'm not done reading it." Then you know that it's a good book. You are also, I just want to share this because I'm always in awe of people who can do this. You are about to publish a novel in May. So tell us a little bit about your novel.
Thank you for asking. The title is True Wealth. It's going to come out from Hay House. It's about a grandson who receives 9 letters from his grandfather, who was super wealthy. But in the letter, grandfather says, "I'm so sorry. I donated all the money for charity. So, grandson, you're not going to get a penny from me. But instead, I left 9 letters for you. Go out, enjoy life." And in the package, there are 9 letters from his grandfather. Each letter has a title. The first one is synchronicity. The second one is decision. Third one is action. So each, this 20-year-old college student just opens it, something happens, and he gets invited to a new city. And then he discovers something so important to their life. And he discovers about his grandfather, his father and mom, and what happened to them. So it's about a novel to discover most important thing in your life. So I hope you enjoy this novel.
I think it's going to be beautiful. I'm looking forward to reading it. So again, that's True Wealth, published by Hay House and written by Ken Honda. And again, it's coming out in May of 2024. So I'm assuming it's already up for pre-sale on big book distributors. So any retail book outlet here, go grab yourself, go reserve your copy. So you can start reading about how to gain true wealth, how to create true wealth. That's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
So Ken, any last minute things you want to share before we wind up our conversation here today?
Thank you, Karen. It's been so much fun. And for those of you who are tuning into this, please enjoy money. Please enjoy life. You know, sometimes life throws a curveball at you, and it's not necessarily fun all the time. But what happens to our life, don't judge it by the wrapping paper. It could look good, could look bad. But in retrospective, a lot of people say the worst thing that happened to your life turned out to be the best thing later on. So just whatever happens to your life, just appreciate it. The same thing with money. When the next money comes in, just say thank you to money. Arigato your money. And when the money leaves you, also thank you for staying with me. Just come back with your friends, lots of friends. And so once you start enjoying the flow of happy money, you can enjoy life more. So don't be afraid of life. Don't worry about money. As long as you have friends and others, you'll be fine. So just start living your life 100%.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Ken Honda, for joining us. Thank you again for writing this really beautiful book. And thank you for joining us for Quantum Revolution. Thank you.
Arigato.
The metrics of value are changing. For more than 100 years, we've cultivated a collective narrative that equates our worth with how much material wealth we have. We measure our value in numbers. How many numbers do you have on your bank statement? How many years of college education do you have? How much you paid for your car? The number on your pants or your bra size. But you are so much more than a number, and your value is immeasurable. You are inherently valuable simply because you exist. And your existence is so wildly precious that the world is what it is because of your existence. Without you, the world we know today would not be the same, literally. Ken Honda teaches that learning to embrace your value and cultivating the healing and courage necessary to live in alignment with your authentic self, that cosmic event that only you can be, is an essential first step in healing your relationship with money. Ken argues, just like a happy life starts with happy money, a happy world starts with happy money. If every one of us committed to creating a happy relationship with our money, can you imagine the ripple effects around the world? All of us smiling at our money, smiling at our lives, smiling at our world. You can learn more about Ken Honda by visiting Ken's website, kenhonda.com. While you're there, make sure you download Ken's free 8-step guide to happiness and prosperity. You can purchase Ken's new book, True Wealth, at any major retail bookseller. If you're ready to reclaim your authentic self and rewrite your story about your money and your self-worth, visit quantumhumandesign.com and download your free Quantum Human Design chart. Your chart will help you learn how you can take back control over the story you tell about who you are and remember your unique, vital, and irreplaceable role in the cosmic plan. I'm Karen Curry Parker. Thank you for joining me for Quantum Revolution.
Thank you for joining us on Quantum Revolution with Karen Curry Parker. For more information on how to change your world and to hear more about our guest today, visit quantumrevolutionpodcast.com. Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcasting platform so you don't miss a single episode of Quantum Revolution. We'll see you next time for some more groundbreaking conversations with Karen and her guests. How will you impact your world today?